Welcome to the Venly Expert Talks, where we aim to inspire Web3 builders with great stories from great minds. I'm your host, Alexandra Ahrens, and I'd like to remind you that you can always reach out to us on Twitter, Discord, or LinkedIn with ideas for the podcast and questions for our guests. Welcome to episode 43 of the Venly Expert Talks. Today I'm joined by Julien Sevat, co-founder of Metasport Arena, and we are focused on how sports and entertainment will shape the metaverse. So welcome. Thank you for joining me, Julien.
Hi, Alex. Happy New Year.
Thank you. You as well. Let's jump right in, and I would love to know your background in life and where you come from and kind of your journey into the metaverse.
Well, I was born in France. So, and after that, I kind of traveled all over Europe and the world because very early I moved to the Caribbean, then the US where I did my studies, came back to the Netherlands, then Spain, and finally I'm here between Poland and Barcelona for the job. So we've been traveling a bit, but I come from a sports and marketing background. Sports has always been a part of me from my studies because I'm a business major with a sports management degree. And since then, I've been involved in sports hospitality, sports marketing, sports sponsorship. And of course, with this as a sports sponsorship, you see everything evolving, in terms of the need of what the fan wanted. And that's how we led to, of course, to Metasport Arena.
Wonderful. Yeah. Then can you tell us a little bit about what Metasports Arena is, how you came up with the idea and everything?
Well, it's quite a sad idea actually, because the way we came up with Metasport Arena is sadly that last year my wife and I were expecting twins, and 2 years ago actually now, and sadly one of them died in my wife belly, which created issue for my other son, for Eric, and while we were spending a lot of time at the hospital to try to save him. And because he had his own personal issues at birth with hydrocephalus and heart arrest, brain damage and everything, I realized that while the doctor were fighting to give a life to my son, which he did, and he's now, almost, I would say, 100% perfect, I saw a lot of kids at the window that didn't have that chance. So I started to think, what can we do for that kid? And sports for me always was the thing that get me going. That saved me, on a I would say on the health basis, on the mental basis, is what I always turn my back to. So I try to think, what could we do for those kids that are sick, that won't have the chance to grow as adults and things like this. And I thought sports. How can you bring sport to hospital? It's quite hard, but maybe VR could do this. So that's why I started to think, how can we bring VR and sport to hospital? And suddenly we were like, well, actually, in sports, there is a need for everybody, because the way COVID has spread out to the people as well, there is a need for VR, sports, and metaverse. So that's how we started with Peter, my co-founder, and Brian, to think, how can we create a sports and entertainment world?
Wow.
And that's how Metasport Arena was created. So from a sad story, we turned it to a positive story.
Yeah, very powerful start. Very, incredible. Good for you. And also very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
So considering that, you've got, I guess, some very unique challenges and very unique opportunities with creating that sporting arena in the metaverse. Can you talk about kind of what building it and operating it is and what it's going to look like in the future as well?
Well, we want to open this open metaverse where all sports team, can come and build the extension of the real life. As you know, and again, I mentioned COVID before, and now there's the energy and cost that are exploding all over the world for living. People have a difficulty to be able to afford to go to a stadium. And in the last 20 years, we also noticed that with social media, fans were not the person next door. Your fan could be 6,000 kilometers away, and most of sports fans now are based in India, China, and of course, Latin America. And we could almost say India and this South Asia thing. So when you think about this, you're like, oh, wow, how those fans? What can I get more for those fans? So if you create a virtual world where they can already visit the stadium, visit the dressing room, interact with you on a daily basis, you already give something that they would never had before. This opportunity to see this, first of all, this stadium in VR, then you engage with them. You create the game they like with the players' avatars, and then suddenly you can create some meet and greet virtual with the players. So you have them now part of your ecosystem on a daily basis and not just on game day. And that's what we're trying to create, this brand new 24/7 for the fans that can be there every day for the team that they support. Second things in terms of this open metaverse is that, and we have seen this in America, which is amazing, and so slowly is coming here to Europe. You have fans don't support only one team anymore. In the US, you can see you have the American football season, the basketball season, the soccer season, the baseball season. So depending the time of the year, you cheer for a different team, kind of things. And now in the world, you see that a fan like 5 to 6 different teams. I mean, if I look at myself, I'm a massive sports fan from Marseille, Manchester United. When you continue after that, I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan as well, a Miami Heat fan, a Formula One fan. So it's, how do I do? If I had to follow a different, close experience metaverse every time, where we have to reconnect the wallet every time, go out, it would make it, a bit, different, a bit harder. And I wouldn't want to go to all those teams. By doing this open metaverse, we really want to have the fan to be able to walk from one door, open another door without having to have all those difficulties.
Okay. So would you say that the main benefit to this situation is that you can access everything from wherever you are at any time with only one account?
That's the idea. The idea would be that the fan can follow the teams they like. When the team right now, we're starting to onboard the teams. They will be able to follow the different teams they like this, without having to follow different, metaverse and wallet and stuff like that. That's our goal.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Can I ask, how do you see NFTs interacting in your metaverse? Do you include them? Do you plan to include them?
Well, the one thing we look to do first of all is NFTs are part of our Web3 life. It's either it's just a painting on the wall, as you can say, when you build your virtual house or in your apartment because you want to expose your NFTs, or if we look more as a digital asset NFT, we are going to part of this. We have our own marketplace where people are going to be able to come, sell, buy and trade NFTs as well. So that would be within the Sam Arena marketplace.
Okay, perfect. So then, kind of looking at more the broad scope of everything we're talking about today with sports and entertainment, why is that important in your mind to Metaverse and Web3 as a whole?
For sports and entertainment,
mm-hmm.
I think if you put yourself as a sports, first of all, as a sports entity or an entertainment music industry or actor industry, you're always going to look for the next generation of income, on the business side of it. And I think this is the next generation of income for those teams, first of all. How? Because they can finally monetize new revenue for them through the digital asset, through the avatar, like I said, or more importantly, through the different streaming you could do through the stadiums and things like this. For the fan that cannot access, that don't have the TV rights, because not every country has the right of the team. So that's another opportunity for teams. So that's the first thing. As a fan, again, it opens new door to new opportunities. For me, the way I look at the metaverse is the way social media rocked our world 20 years ago. When Facebook came, people are like, but what is Facebook? Is it just you and I as a friend chatting? It became much more. It opened doors. And the same way you have now TikTok, Instagram, this is the way I really believe the metaverse is going to be. It's going to be the social media face of the second part of our century. People are going to go in the metaverse. They are going to meet there. They are going to chit chat. And as we have friends all over the world, it's now easier to take your avatar and talk in the metaverse, than just like this with all your friends hanging around. I think this is how our kids, and we already see it, on Fortnite, on Roblox, kids are starting to meet like this, and we're going to see it more and more because that's really what I believe is going to be the next generation.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So kind of Diving in that a little bit deeper, then how do you see the relationship between the physical and the virtual worlds growing and expanding and interacting in the coming years?
Well, the phygital, I think, is slowly getting there. I mean, we have seen people have announced, some Man City. I think if we stay in sports, Man City has another connected scarf, so people can see the thing like the different habit of the scarf, what you can do earn. People have created, connected jerseys. And I think that's the next step as well, to dress your avatar as you want to be dressed. So I think this phygital is very important in term of the clothing. People are going to be able to dress their avatars the way they dress. And we are working on something actually, which I cannot go too much, but where we can push really much on this. The other thing as well is, if you look at your real estate agency, you want to sell a house. Again, you have international clients. It's more and more difficult because people are working to go visit the apartment. If you have this 3D really experience, but really virtual world where you can feel that you walk into the house and you see all the surrounding, it's going to help anybody to sell it. And same things for factories and different businesses. If you want to go visit a school at a university in America, which is quite popular, a year or 6 months before you go visit the school, then it gives you a sense of feeling that you are there, And I think we are going to see more and more this develop to make it feel like we are in the real world. So I think the phygital like this is going to be very important, and digital twin.
Okay. So I guess from your description there, your VR and AR sort of technology is going to be very, very important in that development.
In the future, it will be. Will it be those massive glasses that we see? I hope not. And I think that you have a lot of smart companies developing, and from Apple that are in talk to develop their VR glasses, to Lenovo that came up with new one, of course, the Meta glasses, the new Oculus. But I think we're going to see an improvement on this being much lighter. I hope that in the future it will be normal sunglasses that you put on. I think for me that will be the most, easier and better to wear. But is VR going to be in the next 2 years? Probably not. You have going to have a step. Meta, of course, are putting this, for their own benefit, of course, because they have their own world and they are pushing on this. But I believe that at the beginning, to be able, if you want the mass people to accept, it has to be on a laptop. So everybody, most people are on a laptop, no matter who you are around the world, except in more difficult, I would say, third world countries that maybe it's one laptop for 5-6 kids. And so slowly you're going to get this adopted. So get it on a desktop. That's why we are first launching on the desktop and not as a VR, because we want everybody to be able to afford it. We want everybody to be able to access it. And slowly we will shift into this VR world in the coming months and coming years.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like you're focusing, and maybe this is something you can speak to for the entirety of sports and entertainment within the metaverse, but you are focusing on kind of the inclusivity aspect as well. How important do you see that? And do you feel like it's very important for all metaverses, or only some?
Well, I think I cannot speak for other metaverse and other companies. I can only speak for Metasports Arena. But for me, it's all about inclusivity. When you play sports, and I always never wanted to lead someone on the sideline. When I was coaching, it's about getting as well the kids. It's not even if it's the best one. He has to play. So that's the idea. That's for me the idea. So I don't want to leave anyone behind. That will be a pity. We have enough differences around the world to already that separate us. Let's get something that can get everybody. And I think sports does this. You if you support a team, you don't care where the person is from. You don't care about the origins. You don't care usually about the colors, even though sometimes you hear, those racism. But if I speak for myself, I just don't care. I like the person that cheer for that team. So, and that's the idea. And sports does this, football does this, and we have seen now with the World Cup, an amazing World Cup in Qatar, where there were so many people criticizing, criticizing what happened before. But when the World Cup happened, it was a perfect moment, 3 weeks of pure joy and fun together. And I really believe that that the metaverse can continue this and again be this extra hand of mixing everybody and including everybody. Then after that, it depends of the money. The only thing that makes the difference is the money. Why? Technology. The metaverse is heavy. Building a metaverse, and we have seen a lot of metaverse building small experiences. Why? Because of the computer. Not everybody can afford a 4,000-5,000 euro computer extra fast that can have such upload. So that's what we are playing with, with the Polygon. And I'm not, my CTO is more technical, that could explain a lot more in terms of this. But we're trying to make it work on the everyday computer, and that's the best for us, for everyone.
Mm-hmm. No, that's good. That's good to hear. Are there any other things that we can do at this stage of the game, in your opinion, to further open up that accessibility around the world for everyone?
Well, if you think about telecom already done it. 5G is going to help because it's faster, those things. Now, the one thing, so we talk about 5G, but I was in France, and in the village where I was, they say they have fiber optic, already, but it's not really fiber optic. The internet is like this. So even in such developed countries as France is, they don't have yet this. So it's how can we bring internet to all the people? And I know Elon Musk has his satellite and everything that he is trying to do, and I hope this is going to continue, because I think nowadays everybody should have internet. It's a great way. Internet help learning so much. And again, we have seen with when the internet developed, social media developed, and everything follow. So it starts with the internet to everybody have a better internet, and that's going to be with the telecom companies. And of course, it's a cost, but that's for me step one.
Yeah. Okay. We seem to be talking a lot more about the inclusivity aspect than I expected, but I like it. And so I kind of want to ask here, going back to social relationships and social interactions that we have currently with social media and so on, and how those are going to evolve in the metaverse. Do you think it's going to be entirely positive? Everything?
No. Well, we live in a world where you don't have positive without negativity. First of all, we need to accept this. Yeah, not everything is perfect. Not everything is bad. And as you know, we also have to have a bit of common sense, as human being. So when we talk about social media, and we have seen when people were talking about Facebook and this guy coming and, and touching, if I remember, the person avatar, this kind of things. And, I think we have to understand that the metaverse is kind of a game as well. So it's about putting as companies certain limit of what people cannot do. We have to remember that we're trying to have as much freedom, and that's the idea of Web3, to get back our data, to get everything, to be able to do a bit, our own things. But we also have to be careful of who we are. It's also about educating the kids, educating the people. When you talk to someone, it doesn't mean that the person that say sees this person is really this person in real life. So the parents, the people that they talk to each other and everything need to understand this. An avatar is not a real person. And it's once the people understand this and are a bit more, I could say, it's not the word clever, but a bit more aware, on this, then I think it can only get better, but it also takes everybody responsibility to do this,
Yeah. Okay.
So
that was going to be kind of my next question, because as you can tell, I'm American. So where I come from, sports and entertainment is 99% about making money. So kind of who has that responsibility to kind of keep spaces, especially in the metaverse, safe, and who brings that awareness, and who has the responsibility for the education?
Well, it would be easy for me to say either it's on us or it's on the people, but he has to take both, because even though I can put as much safe net as possible in Metasport Arena, for example, I cannot stop you to do something. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And
Yeah,
it's the
yeah.
same thing in the real world. No matter how much, if I would be, my kid would be in the US and I tell her, don't speak to a stranger, and that you'd put as much safeness. There is a moment where there is going to be my kid in front of a stranger, and how you educate your kid to for this moment is what is going to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And that I think is all about educating what you can do. But putting just barriers is not going to do anything. Or life, I mean, for me, I see we always been put around barriers, if you think about it. Now if you go to education, they put you into block. It's everything has been done like this. It's about breaking those barriers to be able for the person to have a bit more common sense. And I think that's where we should be going a bit more, have this common sense that an avatar is not a real person, and it's not because you meet someone there that you have to go. You have to speak to people. The parents should also control what their kid is doing, online, and be aware to who they talk. I think it's a normal thing, but go explain a 15 years old, woman or girl that she has to show to her parents that she's talking to XYZ person, and it's hard. And again, it's common sense, and it's how you educate your daughter and you explain what she can and cannot do, or your son as well, because you see it on both sides.
Sure. Kind of moving back into the sports and entertainment side of it.
That's better.
Sorry, I had to ask. It's information that it's interesting to me. But yeah, so with sports and entertainment, do you see that as kind of the major route to get people into Web3 and the metaverse, and then from there we add on other industries, other avenues? Or is it something where you think everything needs to come together at the same time?
No, I don't think everything needs to come together at the same time. However, why like sports? 4 billion people love sports and entertainment. That's half of the population,
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, can sports help to bring people in the metaverse? Definitely. It's simple as that. So sports and entertainment are going to have their major play into this, and we see it, again, in terms of money and in terms of everything for them. It's a next avenue of generating those revenues. But it's going to take time. It's London wasn't built in one day, and so it's about taking step by step, so it's slowly as the teams are going to adapt. You only need one for the other to follow, and that's about having this one teams that have a great success, that have a great story for the other that are more followers. And that's the problem with sports. Sports always been followers. They have never been very innovative per se. And it's how you convince those sports teams to be this first team, this first person to explore this fully. And we are seeing this, so that's very good. And it's now how we guide everybody else to this.
Okay. Have you seen that that's been your biggest blocker up to this point, is the fear of innovation on the side of sports?
It's always been like this. It's not just in the metaverse. Look, if you go back to the internet you in the US, so you had internet in the end of the 90s. Yeah. And if you look at that time, what were people were saying about the internet? Oh my God, it's gonna crash. It's so full. And it was just what? A chat, a Yahoo chat almost.
Yeah.
It was nothing else. Just a quick to get the news. If I remember to my parents, to give you an idea, my stepdad was like, no, I'm 55. I don't want to read about the internet. I'm not interested. You print me a piece of paper and I will read it. 25 years after, what do we have? We have someone that is always on his mobile phone, looking at the internet, all the time, non-stop. So that's how much it took for someone that is 55, 25 years to accept a bit less, because now it's about 5-6 years that he's doing it. So this is the same, probably faster time is going to take for everybody to accept the metaverse and all those Web3 involvement to go into this.
Okay. Obviously today we're focusing mostly on sports and entertainment. What do you see as kind of the other big ways to increase the adoption rate or to improve the metaverse at this point in time? Are there other big industries or avenues you see?
I think for me, the adoption rate is like I said, it's going to take time. It's going to go faster because I think our generation is more adapt, is more prepared to accept new things than before. That's how we have grown and shaped ourselves mentally and physically. I think we are ready for this. Now, in terms of other avenues, I think we're going to see the shift. Schools and everything is going to go there. So that's the next step. Once the people, and I think, lead into this, and you're going to see schools and different other entities shifting as well to adapt it faster. But he has to take step. It's all about education at the end of the day. It's how we educate the people to lead. People are scared. People think metaverse is crypto. Is it really? No, it's two different things. There is a bit maybe if you have your own economy with token and stuff like that. If you want to buy, but you don't have to. So it's about explaining all this. But like metaverse is not only Web3. It's different things. So it's how people understand this, how people are educated, and I think the next 2, 3, 4 years and from now on is how we educate the people that don't know what it is, and how they can and what they can earn and do things like this.
Mm-hmm. Do you find do you feel at this point in time the connection with cryptocurrency is helping or hurting building the metaverse? Is it something that you would go one way or the other?
I think crypto and what happened with FTX, there is a positive because it cleaned, so it always cleans the bad apple. So you need this, and what you have seen in crypto, we have seen it in the past with a stock exchange. So it's not like, oh wow, I've never seen this before. No, it happened. If you remember around the 2010s, the Madex and the Maddox story and all this were there. So for me, it's not shocking. Does he help? Does he help to accept crypto? No, he hurt it a little bit because some people are like, aha, I told you so. This is dodgy. But in a way, it's helping as well because, like I said, by cleaning the bad main coin and all this, then you get something more cleaner for the users to accept. So there is both sides again. When you build some things, when it's always a bit more difficult because it's about explaining why this person did something bad, so you lose more time doing this. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's hurting that much. The whole economy is hurt in general on both sides, stock market and, as a recession. So, but what do you do in a recession? Or in a bear market, they call it you build.
Yeah.
So that's a perfect time for us because we are building.
Yeah. No, that's good. I guess I meant, more do you feel like the connection between crypto and metaverse is beneficial at all? Or is it kind of harming the idea of the metaverse because of the connection?
No. I don't think it hurts it because at the end of the day, both can work end to hand. Not every crypto can be part of a metaverse, but can most metaverse accept every crypto as an economy? Yes. Take the metaverse as a real world. You could use a dollar if the dollar was a cryptocurrency. You could use the dollars a bit everywhere around the world. You could use the euro a bit everywhere around the world. So I think it's about how we accept, how we look at it, and how we use it.
Yeah,
that's my thing.
No, that's definitely good. What would be in your dream metaverse? What are some applications? What are some day-to-day uses that you could see that you think this is peak performance of a metaverse?
Oh, that's an excellent question because that's how I think every day. For me, I mean, if we talk about a metaverse, we are talking about, with engagement companies, how we can engage with the people, nonstop. So we have we selected 2-3 engagement companies with who now we are trying and for this to come out, to see, so you can engage with the fan better as a sports fan. In terms of betting, I always been having playing, FIFA with my friend, as a game, and one thing that we always did was betting. So how can you create a way, and that's what we are developing for you and I, if we play a game of FIFA, to bet, friendly, so it's not a betting where you're going to bet on someone else's game. It's just you and I. How can we bet this? I'll give you free token, you give me free token, winner takes all. I think this is the one thing that I want to see more and more into game, where you can, the players between each other that know each other, the friends, can engage and challenge each other a bit more. Either it could be an NFT, you challenge each other, so wearable, the jersey you wear on your avatar, or the ball you're going to kick with, the shoes, the ball you pick to kick, or all the tokens, that could be a good way to create a better engagement. Then after that, if you go a bit deeper, when you talk about the tools, it could be which VR glasses you can pick, which, I would like to see a bit more thing, because we have a lot with the hand, but we don't have too many with the feet at a cheap price. So what could be done as well with the feet? So your living room become your center court. That's what I would like to see a bit more as well. That people stop thinking about hand and think about the full body. And then creating those hardcore game, skydiving, bungee jumping, this kind of thing, to really create these emotions that people could not have usually. And that's why I like to see more and more, and to make it a lot more accessible to everyone.
Okay. Accessibility, interactivity, camaraderie.
Correct.
Okay, that's perfect.
That's how you get people. If you want mass people to accept, that's what you need.
Yeah.
No,
definitely.
So that's why I hope everybody is going to go towards, but again, in stages.
Yep. It takes time. It takes time to build even the AR and VR technology, like you're talking about. It takes time, as you said.
And VR has been there for 10 years. We have to remember this. So VR is not a new product. VR has been there. Now the graphics in VR were not very good. And now with a new platform, you can improve the graphics. But of course, you have a different demand with a younger generation that likes or Roblox, Fortnite style as well. So they are not too much anymore on the graphics. It's more about the way they feel engaged, the way they are retained behind the screen. So I think this is going to help as well to accept the VR much more.
On that note, can you speak to the interactivity between sports and gaming?
So it is going to be helpful. I mean, yesterday or 2 days ago, actually, when you talk about interactivity, it's a bit different. But there is in Spain, they brought influencers and expert athletes with a lot of followers, creating a private football league. Run by those influencers. So with amateur football players, and they have more viewers than a professional football league.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So I think this is the next generation of how you're going to engage with the people. Sports can do it, and gaming can do it, because I think the gamers nowadays can bring millions of people, and you can see a kid spending 8 hours, on a computer watching his friend or this gamer play, but he refuses to spend 2 hours watching a football game. Why? Engagement. What do you get out of it? It's really, you can chat with your friend, you can do many things. And I think that's once if you can combine both, then you will have the successful formula for the next generation of entertainment and sports and entertainment.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That's good. If I think about, again, in the US with, say, the Super Bowl, it's an all-day event. So even though the game doesn't take all day, you are engaged and you have the camaraderie for the entire day. And yeah, I can see that.
And we have seen the Super Bowl this year create the halftime show on a major platform, a metaverse. So I think it's leading there. How long is it going to take? That's the only question we don't know. Hopefully sooner than later. Is there a lot of work to be done? Yes. Can you know more information about the player? Can you change the camera angle? There's many things that could be done that metaverse can help. However, you have to think, if you think about streaming, you have to think about TV rights. That's a lot of money and all this. So it's how all these are going to be playing together. And we will see what the next decade is going to be bringing to us. But we have done the first step, and that's the most important.
Yeah, definitely. All you can do is take steps. So
I think it's a different vision for us that we have in Metasport Arena in term of this. We want this to be inclusive for everybody. That's why the way we offer the land, that are very accessible for all sports fans, because we understand that a sports fan isn't rich. It's already hard to buy a ticket for them for the season, so we wanted to give them this. And of course, by including the Venly wallet, we open even more door because we make it a bit more social for everybody, and that's also very good. And we are happy with this. So that's going to help on our vision of making the metaverse for everyone and not just an inclusive group of people.
Excellent. Then, is there anything big that you would like to plug here before the end? I know we have a Twitter space coming out with you guys on January 19th. So
at 7 p.m. European time. That's exciting. We'll make some good announcement over there. Our beta is ready to release for the Genesis, so people can visit the city. We have our first stadium being built, the Sam Arena there. We have building offices that we are building as well for people to come and work in the future, and people are going to be able to buy apartment and start walking around and buy the land. And then it's how people are going to build and how the teams are going to start building their world. And that's the next step, which we look forward to.
Definitely. Very exciting. I'm definitely looking forward to watching how this develops.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah. Very last question we like to ask everybody. Who do you think we should have on Venly Expert Talks next?
The list is very long. I think you have. I think there is the CEO of Pomoji Room, which is like his vision is a bit different. It's just 3-minute experiences. It could be very interesting for him. Clinton and G, the guy from Exclusivables, are always interesting to hear and read. If you go towards NFTs, the guys from NFT Today are also very good. There is also a new guy I'm talking to, which is very good, which we partner with, is the CEO of Mojis, which turn emojis, into these Moji symbols and NFTs, and they are very successful. So that could be also someone that could be very interesting to have. He's American, and very fun to have to hear all the time. He has a lot to say.
Perfect. Then I'll ask you to hook us up, and we'll see if we can get him on.
Super.
Perfect.
Well, have a good day. Have an excellent year, and we look forward to have the venue when it bring people together on our platform.
Perfect. Yeah. Thanks again for your time. It was excellent talking with you.
Thanks, Alex. Bye.
If you like today's episode, please rate, follow, or subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on. And if you really like our content, join our Discord community, where there's always good conversation, exciting news, and live AMAs. Thanks for listening.